Hello everybody, I'm using a different kind of filter this time because, I'm bored. And waiting for my laundry to get done so I can, put it in the dryer. Anyways, so to pick up where I left off, actually I left out a lot of details because I was so angry, which, that was what I was trying to not do, trying to not have this video up where I'm like, this stark raving lunatic. Okay, let me think. Okay, so like I had said, Jay decided that he was going to move out and end with some woman he had met online a week before our CPS case was supposed to close. So he didn't even want to even wait a week. Had he waited that week, we never would have had to deal with CPS again. So after he decided to leave, I decided to pursue things with a guy that volunteered at the store. We'll call him M. And, like I said, I went into court and they told me that, we're going to watch you, make sure that these next 6 months you're being an adequate mother to your kids. So the thing about M was he had a past. Now, I did not know how bad his past was. All I knew is that he had been this big time dope dealer and weed grower back in the 90s, back on the Kitsap Peninsula, and now he was clean and sober and, going to meetings every day. AA, NA, whatever, over there in Port Orchard, he was always doing that, you know what I mean? So I was thinking, you know what? I want to pursue a relationship with this dude, but I need to keep it a secret. CPS doesn't need to know because, if they were to find out, they might think, at the worst, that, I might have been on drugs. They'd make us come in for UAs, and they'd find out that we were, both clean and sober. Because back here, back in 2007 is when this all went down. I was still, clean and sober. I wasn't doing any hardcore drugs at all. I hadn't even started that yet. It's a whole nother story which is coming up. So, M, like I said, he was a volunteer at the store. And, him and I were hanging out. Well, lo and behold, I end up pregnant by this dude, right? And that's another thing that I end up feeling like I had to hide. Because, like I said, I didn't want CPS butting into my business and blah, 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 yada, yada. So, somewhere along the way, I feel like Jay was having, some kind of issues with this new woman that he had met online because all of a sudden he was interested in, getting back together with me. Well, he ended up having dinner with me and my mom over there in East Tacoma, where I broke the news to him. I'm like, hey, dude, guess what? I'm pregnant by this other dude. Now, I know this sounds absolutely horrible, but, this is stuff that I have to tell you guys because it's part of my life, right? So, at first he was acting like, he wasn't really upset, that upset or whatever. He's like, oh, well, we'll get through this, blah, blah, blah. Next thing I know, I'm having to answer these questions. The social worker that was in charge of the case, wanted to know, who is this dude? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. And me being way too honest for my own good. I mean, I'm like almost honest to a fault, and I'm not even playing. Anybody who knows me well will tell you that too. So I made the mistake of telling, this social worker the name of this dude who was the father of the unborn baby, right? And next thing I know, I'm at work, probably about, I don't know, half an hour till we closed. I get this call from the daycare that my kids are at. It's the lady who owns the daycare telling me, hey, Deborah, I'm sorry to have to call you and tell you this, but CPS, they came and took your kids. So you might want to come down here and get the paperwork that they left for you. So here I am in complete and utter shock. My coworkers at the time, they were worried about me. They were thinking, oh, dang, this girl, she's going to go kill herself. She's been through too much. I don't think she can handle this one, too. So, ended up leaving work early, went to that daycare, picked up the paperwork, and lo and behold, the paperwork says the reason my kids were taken was failure to protect from a sex offender. The sex offender being M, the dude who had been volunteering at St. Vincent de Paul over there in Port Orchard for, a couple of years. And to the best of my knowledge, nobody knew about his past. Well, at least my boss didn't know. I know I sure as heck didn't know at all. This hit me like a ton of bricks. I remember talking to my boss about it. She even wrote a letter for me, for the courts, letting them know, hey, this is what happened. None of us knew about his history, blah, blah, blah. And they wouldn't even listen. So, as it turns out, the reason why, the social worker is even, wondering what's going on anyways, is because Jay went back to his family, told them what was going on, and they advised him to go ahead and call CPS to see if he could get full custody of the children. But see, CPS still didn't like him from this last case where he had been negligent and almost got that little boy killed when he fell down the stairs and severely injured himself. So, they swooped in, they put our kids in foster care, and it took me a year and a half to get them back. Now, in the very beginning of this, second case, like I said, here I'm pregnant out to here, and in court, and he brings the woman into court with him, the one that he caused the case to stay open because of. Like I said, he ended up leaving me a week before the case was supposed to close to be with this woman when he could have just waited a week and the case would have closed and we would have been good. But no, he decided that he would go ahead and do that. And like I said, he's going to add insult to injury, bringing this woman into the courtroom, having her, interacting with, situation that was none of her business, from the get-go, you know what I mean? And, I remember his sister-in-law telling me that he had told her, oh, that's such a betrayal, Deborah being pregnant by another guy. And it's like, really? Did you not remember how many times you cheated on me? I mean, I did everything I could to help this dude, like I said, and that's how I get repaid. Him cheating on me, making me feel like I'm trash when I'm the one who lowered my standards and just everything to be with this loser who ended up, ultimately betraying me in the first place. You know what I mean? I remember times I would call him to try to find out, if he could help me with the kids or do this or do that, and I remember him answering the phone saying, what do you want? Like I was the one that completely destroyed his life and screwed him over. He's going to have the nerve to talk to me like that with absolutely no respect at all. Just no respect. Just no common sense and no morals, no values, no conscience. And I notice that's the way a lot of people are these days. They have absolutely no conscience. Good is bad, bad is good. It is what it is. Nobody cares about nothing. And that's really sad. I mean, even back when I was strung out on drugs running the streets acting a fool, even I, for the most part, deep down, had a conscience when it came to really bad things. I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe, we shouldn't be doing that. I don't need to be doing all this. Now, don't get me wrong. It took me forever to pull my head out of my butt. But still, right and wrong. I mean, how is that so hard for a human being to grasp that concept? And just the fact that anybody's going to be gaslighting you, making you feel like you're a loser and like you're crazy when they're the ones screwing you over. Like I said, don't let people do that to you. And I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, but I'm serious. I don't want people to go through what I went through. I want people to love themselves, love who they are, do the right thing, live a good life, treat people the way they want to be treated. Don't be acting a fool out here or letting people treat you like you are a fool. Don't do it, friends. And if you've stuck with this video that long, which is almost 9 minutes, I am very grateful for that. And if you would like to subscribe to this channel, please do, but only if you want to. Thank you for listening. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas, everybody. I love y'all. God bless you. Bye.